Hey guys, I'm back with my people, my woes, and my friend, since he doesn't want to be referred to as a woe. So
he's woeful.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about chivalry. Let's find out what the floor thinks, or what they think chivalry means, and what they feel about, or how they feel about it. Let's go. Round one.
Who's starting?
Chivalry should be dead.
Excuse me?
You're making him wait.
Wait. Let him express himself. Thank you. Chivalry should be dead.
Why?
Chivalry is one of the worst things that happen to women, if you think about it properly.
Okay.
Chivalry is a man saying, woman, you are incapable of looking after yourself. I will look after you. You can't open a door. You can't possibly. You're not strong enough. I will open the door for you. Look at you. You're so cold and miserable. You can't think for yourself to take a jacket along. I will give you mine. You're weak and puny. I will look after you. That is chivalry, at its core. It seems nice, feels good to be treated specially, but at the core of it, it's you're incapable. Let me do it for you. That's chivalry. That's where it comes from.
In some cases, it actually is, though, because back then when they had cars that you had to literally pry open with a... You see what? Do you understand what I'm saying? And those kinds of things that weren't as smooth as they are now.
No, but then what are you saying?
She can do it. She can do it herself, but just take the brunt.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if she's wearing a nice dress, she doesn't want to do that for it. You see, if she's wearing a nice dress, she doesn't want to take a jacket because it's going to make up. It's going to make up.
Why don't men wear clothes that restrict them from doing things like that? Why must women wear clothes that restrict them from doing things like that?
Simple.
It's not that it restricts us.
It does not restrict us.
It just doesn't go well. Like you can't wear
Your car's
nice
dirty.
big ass jacket.
Why don't you take it along then? Why don't you take it along?
I'd have to wear it because it's cold, remember?
No, you take it along, keep it in the car, and then when you actually feel cold, you wear it.
I have to go to
No,
the
but thing
car
is-
and come back.
So now I must give you mine.
Okay, no, but do me.
That's why we took it, so we don't have to
This
wait.
is why we're talking about this. This is why we're talking about this.
It's the kind. I think it's more of the kind of thing where she's just like, you know what? I would sacrifice and suffer so I can look good, and then you're just like, listen, don't be stupid. Here's my jacket.
This happened to me at a family funeral for a friend. Né? I was there, and then a few of our friends were there. Né? And then one of those friends had brought a friend that we all didn't know. And then we're there. I'd been talking to her the whole day. Né? It's at nighttime. I'm busy helping the friend pack up pots and shit. Né? And then she goes, I'm cold, please lend me a jacket.
The fact that she had to ask means that you...
That I'm?
Not chivalrous.
Yeah.
Yes.
She had to ask. No, but guys,
Yes.
what I'm saying is, okay, the things that chivalry does are nice, which is probably why they've stuck, right? Being courteous to women is a good thing. Courtesy is great, right? Chivalry and the idea of chivalry is not. Please learn the history of things before we just adopt it. The spirit of chivalry is terrible. Chivalry was invented by the knights of old, in the feudal system. Right? The knights had a code that they had to live by. They had to fight a certain way, dress a certain way, behave a certain way. That was what was expected. They didn't necessarily do it. They were all pigs. But, that was then. Right? And then over time, chivalry also had a way to deal with women. Right? How to treat women. It was part of the code. Right? Women, stay at home, stay safe, protected, and I must do everything in my power as a man to keep you that way. Which means restricting you and your movements and whatever you want to do. If a woman wants to be a knight, she can't, because a man can't fight a woman, because chivalry,
No, because we're not equal. We are not equal. You are physically stronger than me. No matter what I do, you will be stronger than me, whether you exercise or I exercise more than you.
True,
you will be stronger than me. That's why we can't fight. That's why you cannot hit me. Chivalry is you accepting that I am stronger than you, therefore I will respect you because you're also stronger than me in certain ways also. And I will open the door for you because I want you to go in first because you're a lady and I'm a man and I should stay behind and protect you and make sure that no one's going to come in
Stab you.
stab you.
Okay, then what if there's somebody stabbing you from the front?
No, why would you open the door and not look first? You open the door and then just like close on the door.
Okay.
You always look where you're entering.
I never honestly thought that I'd ever be in this situation where I'm fighting for feminism against a girl who's fighting against it.
I'm not fighting against it.
But, okay.
I'm just saying this is what happened to me. Don't push me aside when I'm exiting a door because you need to rush somewhere.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what most black guys
courtesy.
do.
That's courtesy. Now, guys, what I'm saying is chivalry is based on a system of putting women down. That's why I'm against chivalry. I am not against courtesy.
Because you're looking at it that way.
Look, what you're saying is correct, right? Physically, men tend to be stronger than women.
Exactly.
Right? So
And also you
if the
guys
door is
get
heavy,
cold.
if the door, can I finish?
Sorry.
If the door is heavy and you need help to open it, you can ask for help, or I will realize this and I'll open the door for you and I'll let you go first. That's courtesy. I won't shove you out of the way. You never hit a woman because women are generally bigger than men.
Yes.
Right? But that's courtesy. It's not chivalry. That's courtesy. Chivalry
But then
leads
guys,
you to behave courteously towards a woman.
guys don't get cold as fast as women get cold, as women do.
Well,
So that's where you give me your judge, because I will probably, I'm shivering and you are fine, but I'm shivering out of like how?
But you know this.
What?
You know this.
What we're fighting here.
I'm sorry, can I
on
predict
that
the
topic-
weather?
No. But you
When I put that dress on at midday, did I know it was going to be cold at 9 o'clock in the evening?
Okay, but when
So you're telling me that you don't know that it gets colder as the day goes late?
No, I do, but you can't compare. Summer evenings are not always the same. One summer evening will be cold, and one summer evening will
So
be...
you're not sure.
hot.
So,
So
when you're not
now-
sure, you bring a jacket.
Oh, so I should carry around a jacket because...
Or maybe because
So-
chivalry, you can ask me to carry it for you.
No.
No.
Why not?
Because you don't even want to give me on...
You know what happened to me once, right? We're going out and it's not cold. It's that nice weather, you know. But it's like it's not hot and it's not cold, right? And I'm like,
But
okay,
it can only get cold.
it can only get colder. It's not gonna get hotter. It's not possible. There's no sun, you know. And you know we're not in the comic book world. But that's another story for another day. It can only get colder from there. I'm like, bring a jacket. She's like, no. It's not cold. I'm like, please bring a jacket. We'll put it in the boot of the car. It'll be in the boot of the car. You'll have a jacket to wear. I take my jacket. I put it in the boot of the car. I have a jacket to wear because it's not cold. And I put my jacket on. We get to the place where we are going. As soon as we get out of the car, we're not in the nice air-conditioned car anymore. We're outside and it's cold. And she's like, give me your jacket. I'm like, no, I told you to bring a jacket. Because it's going to get cold. And
Is
then
he
it's
wrong?
like, why am I wrong?
No, he told her she was stubborn. But my question is, for instance, with chivalry, would you like... Let's put this... Let's change the table a bit. If your mom was going out with your father and your mom didn't bring a jacket and your father was like, no, stay cold, how would you feel?
I'd be like, yes, man. Yes. She knew. She's old. No.
You
She's
lied.
old enough. No. Listen.
If your mom couldn't open a door and your dad was like, oh well, how would you feel?
If she couldn't open the door, and it was like, oh well.
She was wearing a nice dress and she was like, your car's dusty. If I open this door, obviously there's going to be some dust on my dress. And the
How?
dress is white. What do you mean,
How is she gonna get dust by opening the door? I don't get that.
Wow.
Well, at times when you open the door, you
get
like touch
touched.
the door.
Yes.
Yes, you get touched.
Nikita,
Sorry, Nikki. Guys, here's my thing. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
I don't.
And if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yes.
But the gentleman thing to do. If you are a gentleman, now, for example, I leave my house at 6:30 every day. Whether it's hot or cold, I don't know it might rain in the middle of the day, but I will only get back home around 9 at night. Then, let's say I forgot my jacket at home. My intention was to take it, but I forgot it. Now, my plan is to leave Hatfield or wherever I am at 6. But my boyfriend decides, no, I want to hang out. We go out, and we're sitting outside. It gets cold. I'm not going to be like, dude, come on. And I don't know if girls do this, but it's rare that a girl will be like, dude, take off your jacket and give it to me. But if you can see that, dude, goosebumps, everything, and I'm busy saying, it's cold, man. Maybe we should go home. Maybe we should go in the car. Maybe we should go what. You honestly don't feel sorry for me, who intended to go home before this happened. You have a jacket, you prepared, because tonight I'm going to hang out with my girl. You don't feel sorry for me, who didn't have the intention to go out. And I'm freezing. You're not going to feel sorry for me and take off your jacket, because you've been warm, and give it to me, the girl.
And also when it comes to like a ball, if you ask me to go to a ball with you and I'm out here, I'm wearing a nice dress, because you needed a date and I never brought a jersey, or so let's just say I forgot, and I'm getting cold, you're not gonna, and I won't tell you, give me your jacket, just know I'll remember this, and don't get shocked when I don't greet you.
Shit.
Why can't you say
express yourself?
Wait, why don't you say baby I am cold?
If you don't have those basics, we're not on the same page, so
Wait,
let's just move on from there.
wait.
But you didn't answer.
You're
You
not-
guys didn't answer.
I'm answering you.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold
I'm
on.
answering you. Why can't you say baby I am cold, let's go?
I
Baby. No, you said but it's cold, maybe we should go.
I didn't say maybe.
You said maybe.
But maybe
You
is,
guys-
why
you
would she
took
say
me
maybe
out.
if she
You
doesn't
took
want
me
to
out
go?
tonight. My plan was not to go out. I don't have a jacket. You can see I don't have a jacket. I've got goosebumps when you've got a long sleeve plus. a
Then say baby I'm
Okay.
cold, can I go home?
All right, I don't
home.
agree with any of these arguments.
Wait a minute.
Both of these sides have tried to make the other one's extremists of the other. The one is supposed to be very nice, the other one is just being mean to the other. None of you are arguing about what chivalry really is. You're just trying to separate it into this situation was what happens, and in this specific thing, this might happen, and then what happens, and then everyone tries to stick to their guns. We're not arguing about chivalry, we're arguing about semantics, about if she said maybe or maybe not. I don't think we're actually getting to the core of the thing. Firstly, I think Ru was trying to make some good points when he was trying to separate chivalry from courtesy. Be courteous, be nice to people. If you like someone, you're going to be nice to them even if they do something you perceive to be stupid. It has nothing to do with whatever grandiose idea of chivalry you think it is. That was all he was trying to say. I agree with that, right? I agree with that. And then you guys kept pushing it further and further, and you kept making up more and more situations in which these obtuse things happened, and then what are you going to do?
But
And
then
then
again-
people try to stick to their guns, which I understand they're trying to do, but that wasn't his argument.
But here's the
Okay.
thing. If it's not in your character
Mm-hmm.
to be courteous or chivalry is just not part of you,
Mhm.
then shut. Stick to who you are.
Okay.
And say it. Dude, I'm not gonna. For example,
Okay.
I've noticed some human beings in this room who just don't have that in them. They just don't like it,
Mm.
right? I'm not gonna expect him to do it, and I'm not gonna force him to do it because it's not in him,
Yeah.
right? But for example, if I'm dating someone that is like that, for example, I'm dating someone who does this, the works. He will not allow me to open the door,
Mm-hmm.
period. And he will not enter a room. You'll find people, it's even automatic for him to step aside, girlfriend or no girlfriend. He will step aside, and every lady that is with him will enter first.
Yes.
This is who he is. So for me, if it's not who you are, speak out. But don't be offended if I now hint that I really am uncomfortable and you get offended by that. If it's not who you are, say, listen, I'm cold myself. And I just don't see why I should give you. It's not going to help the situation if I'm cold and now you're warm and now it's the same thing. So please speak out about it. But if it is in your nature, do not try and be, now let me contest this and see if she'll handle the cold or whatever. That's just what I'm saying. If it's who you are, do it. If it's not who you are, don't do it. Period.
We're done.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Joy.
Okay, Nini. I agree what you're saying, Nikita, in the sense that I sort of feel like, fine, if this is what you believe, that's cool, but then don't complain when it affects you. In the sense that, like, for you, if you say that, like, chivalry is not for me, this, then you sort of need to accept that women are going to prefer a guy who's like this.
Yes.
For example, it's like people who would complain. I know this is very extreme, but people who would complain about a date, and then every night they would still walk outside after curfew and complain about getting beaten. Like, now you've known what's going to happen, so accept it. And in the same way here, where this is the set of rules now, that women prefer guys who are like this. So if you're not going to be that guy, that's cool, but then you have to accept what comes with that.
Can I just say something? Okay, it's partly related to what we're talking about. This boils down to male-female relations in society today. For the longest time, women were oppressed by men, right? There was a lesser group because human beings developed from a stage where physical dominance determined distraction in life, and women are generally weaker than men, right? So because they couldn't be as physically intimidating as men, they were put on the lower rung, and men were put on the higher rung. And then it became a matter of how do men treat women? And Western culture, which is the culture which shaped a lot of what we believe in, how we think and perceive the world today, has generally put women down, right? And treated them as, you get the image of a damsel in distress, a person who cannot live unless the world is made to be soft for them, right? They cannot survive the harshness of the world, right? Women make excellent soldiers because women can fight, women can be strong, right? They can fight. Women make excellent mechanics because they can understand the science and the maths. They can understand how machines work. Women are excellent people, right? Women are good people. You know? No one is born a woman. This is some philosopher, I forgot her name now. You become one because of the way the world treats you, right? Chivalry, proper chivalry. Chivalry, the original idea of it, right? Like I've been trying to say, is that, right? Woman, this thing that we've created from a female human being, right, is less than man, and therefore must be treated nicely, right? Yes, it's been happening so long, and chivalry has developed a certain level of courtesy as we moved into an era where women had to be treated more equally to men, right? Are we equal? You can argue that all day long, right? We're not the same physically, we're not the same maybe mentally, we think differently, and some science actually suggests that we only think differently because we've been told that we're supposed to think differently, right? And human beings, the human psyche is that susceptible, right? Whatever you are trained and taught from a young age is what you become. That's why you become a woman, you know? If you raised a girl child exactly like you raised a boy child, they would end up being pretty similar. They'd have these traits that you see in men, right? Like for example, they did an experiment with babies, and they were like, they dressed children up to look a certain gender, whether they were that gender or not. They took girl children and dressed them like boys. And then they did an exercise where they let the kids go down a slide, right? And an unknowing participant had to now monitor the degree of slope of the slide, right? And tell the person who's adjusting it to stop when they felt it was too dangerous. And every single time they thought the child was a boy, they would let it go to a steeper slope because they thought the boy can handle it, versus when it was a girl. And when they were told that this child, who just went this very deep slope that you thought was only safe for boys, is actually a girl, and they handled it, they were shocked. Because in our mind we've been told, women, weaker, therefore must be protected. And that is what chivalry boils down to, at the very core of it. Right? Which is why I don't advocate for chivalry, I advocate for courtesy. And I agree with you guys, right? If a man is not courteous to you, then why date him? Why be with him, right? It's not fair. Just the same as when a woman is not courteous to a man, why date him? Why be with him? It's not fair. The thing I want to talk about most, about the points that you guys are making, is the idea that you can hint, and a man must smell it, that you're cold. You know, no, I don't have to tell you, you can see my goosebumps. What if I can't? You know? You can see that I'm shaking. You know that it's cold. I don't know what you're feeling. I can't understand. Tell me I'm cold. You know how terrible life would be if men treated women in that regard, in the same way that women treat men. Imagine you live with someone of the male species, like a boyfriend or something, right? And you live with them, and they come home, and they sit down, and they're mad at you, right? And then they look at you, and then they look away. They look at you. And then later, or this happens for the whole night, then in the morning you wake up, they don't want to talk to you in the morning. You look at them, like, yesterday I wanted sex. You know, I kept scratching my crotch and you didn't see it. So I'm mad at you now because you didn't see that I wanted sex. What do men do? When you want sex, you say, baby, can we? You know, that's what men do. When they're hungry, baby, make me a sandwich, please. You know, baby, okay, I didn't phrase that. I'm hungry, you know. You say it, communicate. If you don't communicate, you can't expect to get the word out. And I feel like this chivalry is like now a set of expectations on women. Women must expect to be treated a certain way because they're a lady, right? And even the idea of being a lady is terrible. Like this idea, it's a restrictive idea. No, you can't run and be wild and be free. If I want to run and be wild and be free, let me, lady or not. That label has been created to control women.
Yeah. And what I feel is women and like males and females are completely different. So I'm not gonna be stingy and say I'm a feminist and women can do everything males can do. No, we can't. There's certain things that they can do that we can't do. There's certain things that we can do that they can't do. That's why I feel like there's certain ways that a woman treats a woman, and a certain way that a woman treats a man. There's also a certain way that a man treats a man and that a man treats a woman. They should differ because we're all different and we're different in that sense. But then again, I don't believe one should expect me to respond positively to you treating me as just another guy, if you're trying to court me as a woman, if you're trying to make me, you shouldn't treat me like your mate. I'm not your mate. That's the reason why you're courting me. If you want to court your mate, it's right there. But like, honestly, I should feel that you're trying to court me. I shouldn't feel as if you're trying to just take me. You're not just taking me and you're going to be by my side, but you must take care of yourself, you must do all of this. I must feel like I'm going to benefit in certain ways from being with you. There may be small benefits to you, like opening a door may irritate the hell out of you, but that may be what I need, like just enough, just to actually push me to actually be with you, and that's a preference for me personally. So I won't expect it from every guy, but a guy that doesn't open the door for me can't expect me to all of a sudden see him as material that I'd be with, or the type of guy that I'd be with, because that's not what I expect from a guy that actually wants to be with me. I don't want to be treated like your mate. I'm not your mate.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, again, that also falls into my point that I made earlier, that we've seen that this is how women communicate. They don't communicate directly, they always do it indirectly, passively. That's why you see all these passive-aggressive relationships in the workplace between women, where all they'll do is make snide comments about things. They'll just try and screw them over, stupid things like that. That for us as guys, we're just like, that's so stupid. Just tell her you don't like her. Don't be besties. You know what I mean? Those are the kinds of things that for us don't make sense. And the same way how for women it doesn't make sense that a guy's like this, this, and this. Why can't a guy be emotional like us? They don't, like for them as well, they're like, why can't you feel what we feel? So at the end of the day, this is how it is, and this is how it probably will always be. So you accept it and you adjust, or you just stay complaining.
I don't fully agree with that, because sometimes when we say this is how something is.
It's me now.
Oh, okay.
No me.
And so the thing is,
That's what she said.
I want to comment before I forget.
You guys are disgusting. This is
Like
like
what you said, and there are guys who actually behave like women.
Yes.
Who will look at you the whole time and not say anything. You will
I've dated a
speak
guy
to
like that.
and will ignore you like a woman.
Yes.
And they will play mind games like a woman.
How annoying was that?
They are men. They are men. For me, if I'm gonna date you, I'm gonna accept you fully. But you can accept me fully. And they are men who have a problem with you opening the door. They are men who have a problem with you taking that lead. It's not even a lead. Just you open the doors, you're getting in the car, you're getting into a store, you're getting wherever. There are men who have a problem with that. It's sometimes you have to now compromise. I'm used to doing things myself, period. I don't like help. I don't like... It's difficult. But you do date people who feel like they need to do that for you. And you need to accept it sometimes, because if you keep rejecting them, they're going to turn away. Because for them, the deal breaker is I need to date someone who's willing to be, not submissive,
Let me
but
be like a man.
be the lady and I will be the man.
Okay? Like, for instance, Joy said women are, like, generally, like, they don't say anything. I'm woman. I'm blunt as hell. I tell you exactly when you're doing something wrong and what you're doing. And guys can't handle it. So you can't come here and say that women don't do this, women... No, I'm different. And in general, guys are confused because I'm not the normal girl. And it's not... And I was raised differently. It was me and my mom. So who was fixing the lights? Who was fixing the oven? It was me. Who was doing all of the hard work? It was me. I think like a guy. I don't understand why you should go shopping if you don't need it. I'm that kind of person. I do think like a guy. And at the same time, it's weird because guys can't accept a woman that thinks like a guy, but then they be out here preaching that women are equal.
Wait.
To guys.
First of all, men don't preach that. I'm strange. The fact that I support women's rights equally, I find that I'm alone in a large group. Men want women to stay down. It's beneficial to them. Just like how white people want black people to stay down. They won't say it, but
they want to.
If everybody who is in a position of power wants to remain in that position of power, it's
Yeah.
human nature, right?
Beneficiaries.
Yes, we'll say it because it's cool and progressive to say it, but no one really believes it. Very few people actually really believe it. I do enjoy it when a woman is less traditionally feminine, like less ditzy and more progress, more doing things herself, more open and honest with their opinion, more open and honest with what they want, more honest with themselves. That's what I'm looking for in the world. It's very hard to find because most people will stick with the programming they're receiving in the world, and very few people will actually fight it. And right now the programming is that it's be a lady, be proper, be contained, and for the man it's go out and conquer, find yourself a lady to be an accessory, to be, that's the thing, and that's why men will say one thing because they can actually see what's wrong with society, but they've been taught for so long to look for that accessory, that arm candy, that woman who'll be at home because a woman is just like the fridge in most men's mind. She has to behave a certain way because a fridge has to do certain things. And it's not a matter of relating with this human being and being close to them. It's a matter of, I've got a woman at home. She does A, B, C, D. And that's what I have a problem with.
I once been told by a guy, literally, he was like, you are too ambitious. You know too well of what you want. And you're not the type of woman that any man would want to be with because you're too strong. And I was like, are you Zulu?
we want a woman who's smart, but then who's still willing to give up her career to look after her kids. And so a lot of guys are like that.
But here's the thing, I don't get society as a whole.
See, those are contradictions as well. Like
we're we're trained to be a certain way. They want the ones that hang on the arm. But when we hang on the arm, now there's too many expectations and all these things. And then when I'm not that girl, I'm a problem because I'm not that. But you're fighting against that.
Exactly.
So here's my thing.
What did I tell you?
Wait. Here's the thing, man. By saying it's rare to find a girl like that, or like this or like this, it's also rare to find a man that opens the door for you. The average man, and the stereotype is on both sides. The average man only hits on you because he wants to sleep with you.
Yes.
Now, it's hard, number one, to find a man who's into you for you.
For your brain or for your...
Or he wants a
Yes.
relationship that's heading somewhere,
Yes.
not to the bedroom.
sure,
Number
okay.
two, it's hard then to find a man that fits that and then also is willing to do nice things for you. Nah? And then you must also be that girl that fits his criteria. Because now, if he's coming at you for you, he has now an idea of the girl that he wants to end up with. And hopefully it will be you. Now you have to fit that. And obviously you're not going to be that girl that hangs. Nah? But what if he's into that? And that actually works.
It works both ways. If he's a guy you're not into, what happens? You're not going to go for him, right?
I don't go for any guy, period.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. It's like what I said earlier. What did I say earlier when we were sitting before we started recording? I said, well, the world would be so much better if everybody admitted that they had their own crazy.
Yeah.
And accepted that everybody else has their own crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
And it must stop being ladies are like this, men are like this.
The generalization,
It's a
the
lie.
broad sweeping generalizations are ridiculous. Human beings vary
It's a lie.
from person to person.
It's
Two
so
children raised by the same mother are completely different, right? But that's it. We're not honest with each other.
It's so
We're
nice.
not honest with ourselves.
It's so nice how guys are like, I want an independent woman, and then they find a woman that's independent, and they're like, no, you're too independent.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's like women who say, no, I want a man who's sensitive. And then they find a sensitive man like, you're not strong
He's
enough.
a bitch, yeah.
You're going to be my bitch.
How many girls have said they want a guy who's sweet and caring, who will listen to their problems, and have 15 of those niggas in the friend zone?
How many?
No.
That's
I have
not-
an issue with that.
that's
I
not-
have an issue with that.
No, you don't.
Because you've been quiet. for a
Guys,
while.
here's the thing, about
Nikki,
friends.
you can't show
I'm
us
sorry.
up, though.
I'm sorry.
But you
I'm
can't
sorry.
expect every girl to like you because you fit the criteria. Maybe she just doesn't like the face.
Thank you, Jimmy. That's my
But
beef. That's
I'm
my
just
beef with the
that
friend
particular
zone.
thing.
Yes.
That's my beef with the friend zone.
But when we do that to women, you're being mean. If you
No.
if you say, oh, I love her, she's perfect, she does all the things I want in a woman, but she doesn't look a certain way and I want that,
Doesn't
all of a sudden
That's
you're
not
shallow.
mean. That's preferences.
Exactly.
Everyone has the right to their own
Everybody has
preference.
preferences. Thank you for being honest. Most people aren't honest with themselves and they don't accept that we're shallow and we have preferences.
Yes.
I agree with
But
you.
don't
This
use
came up
this-
last week, no?
Yes.
Don't use friend zone against girls. I don't agree
We don't.
with it.
I don't even believe in the friend zone.
People keep using this term. This term
Can
is
I tell you something?
Because if you're in a friend zone, it means I care enough to have you in my life, but you are not. I'm not attracted to you.
Can I tell you
You don't
something?
fit my boyfriend criteria.
You tick the boxes,
Can I
but
tell
you
you
just
something?
I'm not
not
attracted
quite
to
it.
you.
Like you're not it.
The way you, the
Yeah.
first sentence you say to the girl, the clothes you wear, the first time you see her, the way you speak, the way you approach her, that already from the
Yeah.
get go,
You're already in the
it
friend zone
determines
if
whether
you
you're
or
friend
not.
zone or not. Even if she just met you, that will determine whether you're friend zone. It's the same way when you see a girl and you determine whether she's home material or wife material.
But let me say something else as well. Well, the reason why I don't believe in the friend zone is made out to be this black hole. Once you go in, you can't go out.
I had dated one of my best friends, and it was the best relationship I've ever been in.
All my relationships.
I dated
have been
one of
with
my best friends.
I only like I said in the previous podcast, it takes so long for me to know someone, right? It takes so long for me to be comfortable enough with someone to let them in.
Yes.
That by the time I decide, okay, me, I want to jump your bones.
I
We're
want
friends.
that too,
You know, when I decide I want that booty,
I want you
we're friends already. So I have to now escape the friend zone, and there's no such thing. So once you tell yourself I have to escape the friend zone, you're never going to get out because you think the friend zone is defined. And
The only zone you cannot escape is family zone. That's when it's over. If I call you, that's
See,
my
now
brother.
You're making
Hey,
things
now
worse
look,
now. I feel very cool.
There's no such thing as a family zone here, right?
Okay,
Right now
I grew
we're
up
comfortable
alone.
like that.
I grew up alone,
Yeah.
so and I wanted like the brother. I wanted a brother. So if I see a guy and I'm like, yo, you could probably be irritating, but like I love you. You're probably brother material. That's brother. You become my brother. It's like I attach some because I never grew up with siblings. So it's like I need a brother and you my brother. So I'm
Okay,
like,
we're going slightly off topic
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
I was about to say, I don't understand what the narrative is. What exactly are we arguing or talking about and discussing?
It goes
Should
away
we
every
male,
now and
female
then. I'm
relations?
trying to bring it back here. You know
It's
what
a
I'm
male
saying?
female relation.
Yeah, sure, but it turned into one giant circle jerk for a
He
good
used
long
the
while.
ugly word. He used the friends. I don't like that term.
The
It's
F word.
very
The F word.
sensitive.
I've got an F word for you, and it's not Friday.
Oh.
Joy. Okay. This is a question I'm gonna ask the guys. Would you classify paying for dates as a chivalrous act, and do you do it? Yes. No. Wait. Let the guys answer first.
Yeah.
Oh, how many guys are here?
Let the guys answer first.
Guys, we
Then
have
we'll
a
give
guy
our
here
2
with orange
cents.
hair in a dress.
Really quickly.
Who would like to answer the question first?
but like what I was gonna say was gonna benefit you guys, but it's okay. It's
Bring it
fine.
on.
I believe if I go on a date and I'm having a good time, I will pay as well because I feel like it's me investing and I'm interested.
Okay.
So I will invest as well because I'm on a date and I enjoyed it and I will pay. But if you're late, you pay.
You see, you ruined the second part of my question. I was gonna pose the question to the girls. Do they feel it necessary for you
Yeah.
to
I
go
was
on
being
dates?
courteous, ladies first.
There we go. Anyway,
Chivalry
moving
ruins
on,
everything.
guys.
Joy?
Okay. Personally, I feel uncomfortable letting her pay. I can't do it. Like, I can't let her pay. But at the same time, I would, the best case scenario actually would be a woman who brings her own money, but I still pay. That's actually the best, because that for me actually shows that you are not going around you're not sure, because you aren't sure that this guy is going to pay. What if this nigga brought 150 rand for his own meal and then he was just like, now it's late for you? What are you going to do then? You see what I'm saying? So I feel like as a person you should just have a contingency just for yourself. You're not going to pay, but have a contingency. So for me, it shows me you're the type of person who can look out for themselves and know that, like, hey, listen, if things go wrong, I can handle myself.
Alright.
Can I just say, first of all, I don't like being expected to do things. Regardless of what it is, don't expect me to do something, ask me to do it. Nah. Secondly, I generally don't pay for dates. Whether it's first, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's whatever, I generally don't. But if we are in a relationship, chances are I will pay now because I know whenever it's going to be equalized. Because when I pay, I feel like I am buying something. I expect something in return. It's not a conscious decision I make. It's just in my mind. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Anybody? Mandy?
Okay. With me, I think I'm gonna try and sully the grade because we talk about, not necessarily this, but I mean, if the girl is one of those, she wants to, like, look self-sustaining in any situation at all, me paying is not just me paying and it's how I feel about it. It's a balance between how this makes her feel as well. It's this whole balance of scales things as well. So if we've talked and she's not really the kind of girl that needs to constantly be not I don't know how to put it, not displaying her independence, but feeling it, like all those types of things, if it doesn't feed into or any of those things as well, I will more than likely pay for the date. Like, I don't even need her to, like, reach for the check or something. I don't even need, like, it doesn't need to become this whole chess game of let's find out about each other by seeing how long the check can stay on the check. I don't need all of that. All of those things. Those aren't things that you need to be trying to pick up on tiny little indications and then making extrapolations on how a person is. Those aren't things that I require. I generally, like, I have my rule of thumb when it comes to people is just keep no assumptions until you've gathered the information, until you have like a cohesive case to make against something. And to me, paying for a meal or something that you spend together, it doesn't even have to be a meal as well, because I don't know about you guys, but I have very rarely been out on like a date when it's like the first time you don't know each other as well. So this is a hypothetical, and we have a very small sample size with which we're trying to use this, and we're trying to say now we know this about the person and all that. To me, that seems ridiculous to me as well. No offense, Joy, but
no, I get what you're
you understand what I'm saying, right? It happens so rarely. And it's like all of these games everyone is trying to play within this small amount of thing as well. You can't gain any meaningful information from that. Just talk to them.
Alright. Ladies?
Oh.
Okay, well, the one... Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. You talk so much that I feel like you already answered the question.
I wanted to add something quickly after Rizani.
I apologize.
Okay, on the matter of paying for dates.
Very quickly, though.
Yes,
please.
I like to ask. I don't ask, I assume I'm paying until told otherwise, because that's just the way it goes. But if someone offers to pay, I will just stop them. If I can't afford it and we both agree to go out, I will say, okay, 50-50, if I can afford 50-50, or it's on you today, if it's on you today. But honestly, if my first instinct is always to pay, especially if I have the money.
I think for me, the biggest thing about paying though for the date is when I have come to you and be like, hey, listen, I want to go out for this, this, and that. You know, because in that case, I have altered your plans. You know what I'm saying? You weren't planning to go out, and now I've been like, hey, listen, come with me to this, this, that. If it's a different situation where I'm like, hey, we're chilling with a lot of my mates, do you want to come and join us? That's a different case, because then there's no obligation on anyone to pay for anyone. We all look out for ourselves.
Sure. Ladies, okay, the one lady has spoken.
Today's me, tomorrow's you. It's like an unspoken vow.
And that's it.
Yeah, like I always have money. Like if I'm gonna
Sure.
go.
Oh,
No, not like I always
Sure,
have.
but-
oh yes.
On the niggas.
Flex on these hoes.
Flex on these bros.
I always have money if I go out. I'm broke right now with no need to go. But if I'm gonna go out, in fact, I'll say no if I don't have money at all. Until I have money, because you never know what stunt they might pull even if you're dating them. So yeah, you always have to have money when you go out because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, my take is I generally don't feel comfortable with a guy paying.
Yeah.
Or let me say paying the whole bill. I am a staunch believer in the 50-50 rule. And not 50-50 as in half of the amount on the check. I'm saying pay for me, you pay for yourself.
Yes.
That's how I work. Because a man could be out here buying oysters and whatever. I just got a burger. Now I must pay 50% of this 1,000 rand bill that we got here. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine.
I'm not about that
Welcome
life.
to our life.
I'm not about this. No.
Welcome
Like
to our
you get
life.
these guys.
You go out with a girl. She orders wine, the most expensive one, 50 rand a glass.
Yo.
Then she has like 5 glasses.
You
Then
see.
she's getting cocktails. And it's like, you're paying, right?
I think I've been exposed to guys who generally go out to places like that where the menu sometimes doesn't even have the price of the
I hate that.
the meal on it. So
That's
now
how
you're
much
just
I
out
owe
here
you.
playing Russian roulette when you're ordering food.
If you have to
Um,
ask, you can't afford it.
That is the idea. So I mean, personally speaking, I'm not a fan of the guy paying the whole thing. If he insists, then okay. But I'm not gonna go in or go out with him, irrespective of who asked for it. Whether I suggested that we go out or he asked me out, I still think that we should pay 50-50. I mean, or pay our own way. And then with movies, it's the same story.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that we're doing, let me pay for myself, let him pay for himself, and we're cool. Some people find it emasculating as well. Some guys find that emasculating for me to say, no, I'll pay for myself. But anyway, ladies.
That being said, if you ask me out on a date and you are late, you pay. I could have not came. I spent the past hour getting ready. I did not need this. And then you're wasting my time by not like showing up on time. I know I'm a prompt person. If you're more than 30 minutes late, okay. If you're more than 30 minutes late, I'm gone.
If you're late,
I'm always prompt.
no. If you're late,
Then I'm not paying.
Still,
Who asked who to come here?
this is another
Okay.
one for another episode.
would you ladies insist on paying ever?
Excuse me?
Would you
Yes.
insist on paying for the whole?
I've done it before.
I've done it before.
I've done it before too.
Yes.
I've done it before.
I
This
know.
is
He did
assuming-
not like it.
This is
What-
assuming first date scenario.
Yes.
First date as in
Yes.
trying to call
I've
this
done it
guy.
before.
What was different with
No,
this
this
guy?
guy sees you
You didn't
chilling,
have money.
Well,
and he asks you out.
He asked me out. I must pay.
And then you
Jokes.
get to the
No,
place and then
pay.
you feel like, oh, let me pay.
in the occasions,
I had such a great time, let me pay.
But if I'm just like, hey Joy, let's go, and then we go to Spur, I'm gonna pay because I said, hey Joy, let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you share a similar idea as Joy, somewhat.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I've done it before.
Somebody
What
please.
was different with the one guy was he didn't have money, but he only told me that when we were at the table. And fortunately, it was a case
Payday.
where the finance minister had come through. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, it's fine, I'll do it. No.
Is that what you said?
Nikita,
Or
look,
is that what you felt?
Pagoda.
Because I think that's the more important thing here.
it's what he said.
No, is that no? Because
What
he
do you
didn't
mean?
have money, and then you were like, no, it's fine, I got this because he was stacked.
Was the
But I
date?
mean, is that what you said, but what you felt? Because I'm more interested in the, you know what? I know I invited you out, but actually, I'm broke as a joke.
Was the
He
date
didn't really
great?
say it like that. Like he was just like, look, I don't have money on me.
No,
Right.
Did you insist
That's
on?
the thing.
My question
Did I
was,
insist?
would you ever insist on paying?
Yeah.
Not would
Oh,
you pay
insist.
a bill?
Okay, well, yeah, well, in that case, I have done it before, but it was a back and forth because now he was like, no, I want to pay the whole thing. I'm like, no, I want to pay my way. Then eventually I got to a point where I was like, no, let me pay the whole thing.
This man was on the
How can we go on a
I need to
date?
meet this man.
Okay, but now, would you ever choose consciously to
Yes.
pay for the entire
I
bill?
think
Be
I
like,
would.
Yes.
Ejo, I'm
Nikita,
paying.
go. Sorry.
Yes.
All the
Actually,
time.
I've never really been on like okay date. But if we're going out, right? You say let's meet here and here. We go there. I would actually immediately when the bill comes, I do this, and they'll be like no, and I'm like no for real, and it will be like whoa, because they playing. You can see he's enjoying. And they'll be like no, and I'm like no for real, and then I'll take out whatever immediately.
But
Only because, but for me, it's a message. So this is you and I getting to it. It's not going to become a thing of money is now a factor in our relationship that it's going to become a problem. Money then becomes, it's just money. Someone has to pay the bill. It doesn't matter whether it's me or you. That's my message. So by me doing that all the time, it's me saying, Amy, if we end up in a relationship, money is not going to become, it's never going to get awkward when the bill comes. If I reach for my thing first and if you reach for your wallet first, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
That
You
being
have 10
said,
seconds.
that being said, if you ask me out on the first date and I had a great time, the next date I'm paying. If I ask you out on the next date, that's paying. I will insist on paying. That answers your question. Yes, I would insist.
Sweet. All right, guys. Please follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks. Bye.
The topic was chivalry.